Hi there. In this video, I'm going to talk about what are the abstract classes and in the design concepts for any object-oriented programming, how the abstract classes can be utilized to create a better design. So if you have been watching my videos from last 2 or 3 months, I have been talking a lot about the OOPS, which is Oriented Programming in PHP language to be particular. And these all lessons are created for you and saved in a playlist. The link of the playlist is just going to appear. So you can click on the playlist and start from the video number 1 in the playlist so that you have a complete idea of what things we are going to discuss here. And if you've already seen those videos, then you're welcome to this video tutorial. Okay, so now if we start understanding the concept of what is an abstract class. So let's assume something like what is an abstract shape, what is an abstract thing in our universe. So something that is not easy to define. So for example, shape. So we have multiple kind of shapes. So one kind of shape could be circle, another could be a rectangle, and then a square, and a lot of other things. But these can be concretized, as in you can see the circle, which is also a shape, and you can see a rectangle, which is also a shape once again. But standalone, a shape does not mean anything. So if we are going to declare a class which is a circle and in turn which is a shape, we can easily realize that there are properties of this circle which will be common to the shape with the class rectangle. So to start with, let's consider the class shape. Okay, and for the moment let us leave it like that. And now if I instantiate this class, I mean, I can technically do it, but does it make any sense? Absolutely not, because shape alone itself does not make any sense. We need to create a rectangle or a circle. So how to avoid it? So we have a keyword called as the abstract. That means now this shape cannot be instantiated like that. But why we would do something like this? There are things that are common to certain kind of objects that is repeated often. So for example, if we have a class circle and we have a function which is let's say public function, let's say print, which prints the shape of the circle. Okay, and then we can write the print functionality here. Okay, and then we have a class rectangle, which again has the same functionality. Another example that comes in my mind is rotation. So if we just rotate a circle, we can have a function which rotates a circle. And even the rectangle can be rotated. So you can see as I develop these classes, the functions also keep getting multiplied, and most of the functions, sorry, and many of the functions that you see are common. So can we do something about it? What we can do is we can take this out, the block, and place it inside the shape. Okay, and then we're going to use the same concept of extending. Do the same for the rectangle. we take these functions out. Okay, so we have moved these functions to the abstract class. Now what we can do is we can determine from the class that extends any of this shape class is that these two functions are available for printing and rotating the shape, and we should implement them. So let's say if we have another class which is, let's say, a square shape, and we extend the shape, we know that there are two functions which are either implemented in the base class, which is the abstract class, or they need to be implemented in the uh, derived class, which is square in this case. So there are two ways of doing it. If you have the common functionality that can be pushed back to the base class, you should do it from the derived class. And if there's not a common functionality, then you have to write the function in the derived class with the overriding motive. So in case I am quite aware that whatever I do, I cannot rotate the objects uh, with a common functionality. I mean, the way a circle can be rotated is on its center point or on its circumference, and the rectangle can be rotated on its corners also. So the function rotate cannot have the common functionality, and hence it needs to be put in by the individual classes. So once I extend it, I will have to uh, write this function. Okay, so coming back to the main thing that we have talked about, I'll just take this off. Okay, and I will try to instantiate the shape class just so that you can see that shape will not get instantiated. Let's run this program and find out. Okay, so I ran this file after a little bit of name change, and there's some problem with the file, so I'll just change the name of the function to print shape, and let's run it again. So you can see the error is very clear. Cannot instantiate abstract class shape in blah blah. That means you cannot instantiate the shape object at all. Now if you notice that I put something called abstract in the uh, mm, function just before the function declaration. The purpose of doing that is to tell the PHP interpreter that that this class is not going to implement the function that I have declared as abstract, and instead the class that is deriving the function should rotate it and should implement it. So if I just remove the rotate function and I start once again by declaring a circle object, what do you think is going to happen? We are sure going to get an error. Let's check it out in our local host once again. So it's very obvious that is class circle contains one abstract method and must therefore be declared abstract or implemented or implement the remaining methods. So we have to implement the rotate method. So in that case, we just take this declaration in here, and inside we write some implementation, rotate this circle. And now if I run this again, okay, and we got this error because not because the circle was, but because we have created a class rectangle also, which is also facing the same problem. So we will copy the same function in there because it's everybody's extending the shape class. And now let's run it. Hopefully it should go away. Yes, there's no error. So that indicates what is the meaning of the abstract on the function. So I hope you understand the concept of abstract class and also understand the concept of using abstract on the function. Now there are certain rules that we need to follow, and these rules are very clearly listed out in the in the manual for the PHP language. Just go to this page and you will find it. So we have seen this, that class which is abstract cannot be instantiated, and the class that has one abstract method must also be an abstract. That means if I create an abstract here and if I leave out this one, this is not a valid code. I will need to put abstract here in case I need to use the abstract function. Okay, and then methods defined as abstract simply declare the method signature. They cannot define the implementation. So the meaning of this is that if I have certain value in here, so for example rotate by some value, some degree, okay, and if I introduce some parameter in the function, that means I will also have to use the same parameter in here so that the signature of the function in the base class matches the signature of the function in the derived class. Otherwise it will not work. Then we know that all methods marked as abstract in the parent class must be defined by the child. So if we have more than one method like this, like if we have rotate and move, then even the move has to be implemented by the circle and the rectangle class. Okay, and there's one important point: these methods must be defined with the same visibility. So if you have something like here protected, you cannot make this one as private, the derived function. You will have to either make it protected, the same as above, or you will have to use the public. So the visibility should be higher in the derived class compared to the base class. And we talked about that the signature should be matching, and signature there should be no signature conflict. And these are the basic rules that you need to use while declaring the abstract class. And if you're confused about how different the abstract class is from the interface, please wait for the next tutorial, because both of them do the same job of abstracting out the details. Like we have abstracted the shape part out of the circle and the rectangle and the square, and even the interface will do the same thing. But then there's a very subtle difference between when should we use the interface and when should we use the abstract class. So I hope the concept of abstract class was very clear to you. You will as and when you get into a project, you will realize that abstract classes are a must, and not everything can have a real concrete object, and those are the situations you should definitely make use of abstract class. So if you like this video, please do subscribe, like, and share this with your friends. Let them also know about the abstract class. And if you have any question that I can answer, I'll be happy to do right below in the comment section. And thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe by pressing the red button, subscribe button, and the bell icon. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.